like to introduce Jenny Harwan from WinTV. Jenny Harwan's road to WinTV began at WTNH at Channel 8 New Haven, where she wrote, produced, and directed local commercials and promotional programming. She continued on to WDRC AM/FM radio, working as commercial continuity director before opening her own web design business in 2001. Jenny is a graduate of Southern Connecticut State University with a degree in journalism, as well as Manchester Community College, where she studied web design. Jenny is a hometown Windsor girl who married a hometown Windsor guy, Fred. At this point, I'd like to introduce Jenny. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you again for inviting me tonight to speak. I love talking about WinTV. I have been there, the executive director, for 11 years now, and it's just been the best job that I've ever had. Growing up in Windsor, being able to serve in my community and interact with community members, there's just nothing better. So in the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to share with you 10 things that you may not know about WinTV. You might not. We call it public, they used to call it public access, but we try to call it community media now, because public access TV was what it was called, and it's a lot more than television now. So number one, we have been on the air since 1983. That is our original logo there. Cable television came to Windsor in the early 1980s. And along with that, the cable company, and I think it was Times Mirror at the time, they made an agreement with the state that there would be a certain amount of channels put aside for local content. And cable companies would also put an amount of funding towards equipment for communities to make that content. Now, why would they do that? Well, when they came into the state, people were worried that local advertising, local programming, all of those things would suffer with cable television. So it was to their advantage to kind of, give a little and say, okay, hey, we'll give you guys money to start your own access station, and here's some money to do it. So WinTV was incorporated in 1982, and we began broadcasting in 1983 from the basement of Windsor Public Library for 4 hours a night. And back in that day, they had 4 VCRs all lined up, and they had volunteers who would, at 8 o'clock, they would pop in the first VHS tape for that show. And then when that ended, they would start the second one, and so on and so on and so on. So it was definitely a hands-on experience. And we stayed at the library until, there's dispute about this, but around 1990, a little bit earlier than 1990, we are now located at the LP Wilson Community Center. So number 2, our foundation is all about freedom of speech. This is our mission statement, which is to protect and increase the freedom of expression, diversity of ideas, and community-wide communication by providing training in and access to the medium of video. We're basically educators. We are here to teach and here to assist and help you create programming that gets your voice out there in the community. And all of that is, making of your own program is free. Staff members are really intended to provide training, help in the studio if you do a show in the studio or out in the field. But really the concept behind it is community members creating video to share what they want to share with the community. So in community media, almost anything goes, almost. We do have some policies, and these are policies that apply to all public access community media stations in the country. The one thing that we can't do is we can't advertise. We can't sell products. We can, in the terms of a business, we can talk about the business. We can say for more information, go to their website, but we can't say, Dom's has their breakfast specials for, $10.99 this, today. We can't sell anything like that. No solicitation or appeal for funds. No material that could be deemed obscene or inappropriate for public access audiences. No material which has a reasonable probability of creating an immediate danger or damage to property, injury, or creating a public nuisance. And no material which is defamatory, infringes on copyright, trademark, anything that would subject the station to legal liability. So they're pretty broad policies. They're common sense policies. The first one about advertising is maybe the most distinct one, but pretty much anything goes. And we have had all kinds of programs come in, and doesn't matter if your opinion is not popular about something, it doesn't matter. This is your right as a Windsor resident or a Windsor business to use our resources to get your words out. This is a thing that I deal with a lot, probably once a week. We are not a part of the Town of Windsor, meaning we are not a department of the town. We are not funded by the town. There's a little caveat to that, but oh, John Leland wants to enter. Okay, I just admitted him.
Good, thank you.
He must have got kicked out. But the Town of Windsor are great partners. We have a great relationship with them. I'll explain a little bit more how we're tied together, but we are a nonprofit 501c3. And where the confusion is we are located at the LP Wilson Community Center. We are given space for free there, which we're extremely fortunate. And because we're in a town building, people assume that we are a part of the town, but we are not. All right. So just quickly, number 5, the differences between the channels. So we have 3 channels. WinTV has 3 channels. Channel 5, which is our public access station, it's called. And that is pretty much everything. We air everything on that channel. That is our main channel. Channel 95 is our education channel. And that is, I think when it was first created, they thought that the Board of Education would kind of take a front role in putting content on there, but it just didn't work out for some reason. Other communities have stronger education channels. So our education channel is really anything that happens with the schools or sports or school concerts, special Board of Education meetings that we cover. But it's also a learning channel. So a lot of our content that is our cooking show, Simply Chef Renee, I'll air her on the education channel because she is teaching you how to cook. But we also have historical biographies. So any kind of education thing goes on that channel. And our government channel is channel 96. So this is another reason why people assume that we are part of the town. Channel 96 is actually managed by the Town of Windsor. They have their own budget. They do their own scheduling. Gary Dogowitz does all the filming. They buy their own equipment. And the reason for that is many years ago, in the early 90s, WinTV went through, we call them the dark days. Was not, there was a lot of discourse, there was mismanagement, it was not a good time in our history. And we were in danger of shutting down. And the government channel, the town really was interested in still having a government channel because broadcasting all of these town council and Board of Education meetings live, it's transparency. It's a good thing to do, and they didn't want to lose that. So there was some talk about possibly us closing and them having the government channel. But luckily we got our act together and got a new executive director, got new board members, and things got really great for us. But afterwards, the town was still interested, and we talked about it. This is before my time, but it sort of made sense for them to manage that channel because all of the meetings were at town hall where they were, instead of hauling equipment back and forth. So an agreement was drafted that that they are managing that channel for us. They still fall under the umbrella of winTV, but they are self-sufficient. And I said, we have a great relationship. Gary Dogwitz and myself, we share programming. If he does a special meeting, he makes a copy of it to give to me to run on those channels, and vice versa. So, but that's where some of the confusion comes in. So we are funded by cable companies. We do get a small amount of funding from the Town of Windsor. Every year in the budget, we have to write a request letter. It's public knowledge, but it's $5,000 that we get from the town, and it's not guaranteed. But we are super grateful for that amount. But our primary funding comes from Frontier and Comcast, and per subscriber fee is $8.68. That goes into a fund for us. So each subscriber, that comes out of their bill, their payment. It goes into a fund for public access stations, and we get a check quarterly. And as I said,
68 per month, or is that annual?
per person. So each person's cable bill, each household, $8.68 goes into a fund.
Is that a monthly fee or is that an annual fee?
It's a monthly fee that comes off your cable bill,
Okay. All right.
but we get it all quarterly. So as you can see with how our communication is, people are getting their news and TV. It's a crisis time for us because people are cutting cable. Cable keeps increasing the fees. I know my bill just went up, and people are cutting the cord. So we are looking at obviously other ways of income because we won't be able to sustain the station the more and more that cable is cut. Our other income, just like any nonprofit, is fundraising, classes. We have adult production classes. We have a really, really popular summer program called KidVid, where we have 6 weeks of it's a camp, for lack of a better word. And we also have some business video. We have a business video directory where businesses can sign up to get listed in our directory, and that is income for us. So number 7 is media is created by the community for the community. I just bring this up again because sometimes we'll get a phone call and people will say, hey, can you come cover our event? And the protocol for that is I send out an email to my volunteer list and say, hey, is anybody available on Saturday to go cover this event? And sometimes there is, and sometimes there isn't. And sometimes we can go out, and sometimes we, as staff, sometimes we can't go out. And we have a pretty loyal volunteer base who they have their favorite things they like to do. So I know that I can always call on them, concerts on the green or Shad Derby, those kinds of things. But as I said, staff are here to train and assist. That's our main job. But we go out into the community for many things, especially things that are tradition in Windsor, like the Shad Derby, Memorial Day parades. We feel it's very important to us that we are documenting the history of Windsor. So any event like that, we will definitely send staff out or a very, very experienced volunteer because we want to make sure that we have that in our archives. And so that's why you'll see us out at things. So number 8, some of the things that we air on winTV. We're always at the concerts on the green. And that's always a really fun time to head out. Our Shad Derby, we cover the Coronation Ball, we cover the parade. And sadly, so many of these things I'm talking about were canceled last year. We all go out into the community. This is Pequannock School. A couple of years ago when Amazon gave every child a Dr. Seuss book, Pequannock School called us and said, hey, we're going to make this announcement live. Can you come out and cover it? And we did. So we were there for that. And it was a really great event. We're at the senior center is right next to us at LP Wilson. So this is a senior talent show a couple of years ago. We do a lot of things with them. This is another Shad Derby, the pie eating contest. It's Joe McAuliffe's son. Around budget time, the town asks us if we would cover the budget public forums, and they take place around town. So we are there covering those events as well. Board of Education, sometimes there are special meetings that the Board of Education has at LP Wilson or at the Board of Ed side that they ask us to cover because they maybe can't get the space at town hall. There's other meetings going on. So we cover those. We actually live stream those on our channel and on our YouTube page. And there's like 4 or 5 of those a year. And this is just this is a look at our KidVid. Actually, this is, we were teaching them podcasting here, but this is just, we just love this program so much. It was heartbreaking that we couldn't do it last year. We really missed having the kids, their energy at winTV, but they're there. We have 6 individual weeks. They come in, they learn TV production and film production from start to finish. They direct, they write scripts, they do lighting, they do audio, they do acting, and it's just, you know, it was going on a couple of years before I came to winTV, and it's just grown. But we're just really proud of it. We have a waiting list every single year for it. A lot of community support businesses and organizations that help fund it for us or sponsor kids to attend. So we're really particularly proud of that. That's Chef Renee doing her, she was one of our early for me, early shows, and she does her cooking show there at winTV. So still number 8, things that air on winTV. I just like to remind everyone when I give this presentation that, you know, as a Windsor resident, you can come in and use the equipment for free to create media. We will help you do that. You can come in and ask us to do all the technical stuff for you. And if you just want to give a message, we'll do all the equipment, we'll do all the editing. But if you want to learn how to do it, we are there to teach you to do that as well. And you can also check out equipment. I kind of liken it to a library book. We teach you how to use the equipment, and then you can check it out. So say, you know, my son is playing baseball and I really want to cover the game. You can come and check it out, go cover the game, go film the game, bring it back to us, and we will edit it and put it on the air. We'll put it on our YouTube. You can send it to, you know, his grandparents. You share, you know, we have a lot of parents that want to cover certain sports, but checking out equipment is really easy to do, and the equipment is pretty easy. It's pretty much short, shoot and point and shoot, point and shoot, and we have all ages that come check out our equipment. And number 9, one thing that people don't realize is we offer free and paid options for small businesses and organizations, civic organizations. The free stuff that I always tell organizations is we have a community scroll. It is free. You send us your event and we will get it up there on our scroll, and it runs 24/7 in between programming right up to the day of your event. If we have volunteer coverage or we can cover it, we'll come out and cover your event for free. We will help you promote your event for free. And we will help you in any way to get the word out, the message out that you want to get out. Some of our paid options is, I was talking about a business directory. That is for small businesses for $250 a year. They get it's kind of like a business card on the community scroll with their logo, the name of their business, maybe their hours, their website, things like that. And it runs for a full year. Again, 24/7 in between programming. It's a really good deal. We have a lot of small businesses who are interested in that. New in 2021, you guys are actually the first ones to get to hear about this, but when I talked about us looking for alternative funding, we are going to be moving into offering small businesses and organizations some promotional videos, social media help, website help, all paid services. But we know that there's a need for some video work, more professional video work for certain small businesses. So you'll probably be hearing more about that coming up. And number 10, where can we watch WinTV? So on cable TV, on Comcast, channels 5, 95, and 96. If you have Frontier, it's 1602, 1603, 1604. We do normally live stream on our website on wintv.org. There's a little star next to that because right now we're having an issue with a firewall. So we're actually not streaming at this very moment, but normally you can just go to our website and watch WinTV live there. And YouTube, we do live stream certain events on YouTube, and we have all of our shows there on demand from really the past, well, since I've been there, pretty much the last 10 years.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Why don't you? Are you guys still selling your shirts? I love them so much. I want to buy one, Josh.
Oh, great. Okay, wonderful.
I tried calling you the other day and I never got there.
Yeah, well, so our our hours are we're still working pretty remotely. We're only there 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays right now. But leave a message if our voicemail should have come on, and we will definitely get back to you. Just my final thought. I'm a big advocate for community media because I like to remind people that WinTV and other stations, we're the only place where you can go to find true local news. You are not going to find it on Channel 3, on Channel 8, unless something bad has happened in Windsor. If you want to know what's going on in your community, community media stations like WinTV are the only access you will have full transparency of your local government. So I am a big cheerleader for public access community media. And that is my presentation. This is my contact information. Jim has it as well. But follow us on social media. Call us at the office, leave a voicemail, or email me. And that is it. If there's any questions.
Any questions for Jenny?
I don't have a question, but I'd like to thank Jenny for doing what she does with our presenters that we had. We've gotten a lot of good comments, both from the people from ECHN for the diabetes and Jenny, the nurse. It's good to get the word out, and it definitely is getting the word out. So it's very good. Thank you very much, Jenny.
Yeah, you are very welcome.
And I'd like to thank you and your station because one of the things you do is public service announcements.
Yes.
And last year, I did one for the Lions Club in combination with Dave Roberts from the district.
Yes.
So I appreciate your help on that, which is available on YouTube. If you want to, just Google WinTV, you'll be able to find it on YouTube.
Mhm.
I view that as the beginning and the end of my time on TV, that particular episode. But anyway, I appreciate the help, and you made me look as probably as you could have, as good as you could have.
You did great. You did great.
Jenny, did
Yes.
you share it back? Did you get back to Jim?
I'm sorry that you cut out. I didn't hear that first part of that.
Jim, did she send it back to you as the host?
Yes, I gave it back to Jim Pfeiffer. Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jenny, couple of questions.
Sure.
The Board of Education meetings on a regular, aside from this COVID situation, but normally the Board of Education meetings in Town Hall are recorded by town staff. Is that correct? They're transmitted by town staff?
Correct. Gary Dogowitz manages that channel, and he records and he live streams. Actually, he
Right.
shows
And
those
then
live.
That is recorded and stored so that the public can actually go back and replay meetings.
Yes, and you
They'll
need
do
to go
that
to the.
on- Can they also do that on WinTV or only through the town's website?
They need to go to the town for those government meetings. They need to go to Town of Windsor CT.com and watch them there, because that's where they're stored.
And secondly, the notion that you put forth, I know that you allow candidates to bring their own or to make recordings in your facilities during election time. Are those broadcast on the government site or the if it's a Board of Ed matter, is education candidate, where are those broadcast?
Those are broadcast on our two channels, R5 and 95. If you give me a video of a political, you're running for office, and you bring in a video, or you have us do a video for you in our, it would air on our channel 5 and channel 95, because it's our content. Gary doesn't normally run those on the government channel. We've offered them to him, but we don't get a lot of them, though. We don't get a lot of candidates who come in anymore.
Well, I made my own last time, and
I remember.
you broadcast it.
Yes.
Now, let's say as the Board of Education or other political official, it sounds like I could go in and record commentary about Board of Education matters while sitting on the board. And likewise, if in the future I'm no longer on the board, I could still come in and record commentary about Board of Education matters, and that would be broadcast. Is that correct?
Correct. I mean, it's a freedom of speech. It's a platform for all of that, as long as it meets our policies. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In fact, one of the things that we also did last year, Jane Garrity, who's a Lions Club member but not here tonight, she has, was it On the Porch, I think it's called?
Yes.
Front porch, one of those things. And we did a session with her, Cindy, Jim, and I, for Lions Club. I don't know if that's been on WinTV yet or not. I'm not sure it's gotten broadcast, but we did do one at the station.
How long ago did you do it?
Jim and Cindy, you remember when we did that?
September, I think.
Oh, yeah, then it's aired. It's up on YouTube already then.
Yeah, I haven't checked it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Jenny. It was very informative. And what I'd like to do is move on with the agenda items, but I really do appreciate the fact you spent the time here with us. I learned a lot, and I've been in Windsor 40 years or something, but you learn something new every day.
Thank you for having me.